Have you ever played a game which is just fine? Not bad, not amazing, just something you play, enjoy and move on? That was my experience with Ark the Lad, a tactical RPG that kicks off a long-running series. It's short, it's simple, and it does some cool things. But does it really stand out today? And does it worth playing? Let's find out. What's up my fellow retro gamers out there? Welcome on the Backlog Quest, where we are celebrating the golden era of gaming. I'm Mr. Zosta, your guide through gaming's greatest gems. Buckle up as the time machine is ready to launch. Before we jump into the gameplay, let's take a quick look at where Ark the Lad came from. Released in Japan in 1995, this was one of the earliest RPGs on the PlayStation. Developed by G-Craft and published by Sony, the game was meant to show off the new hardware's potential for RPGs. Interestingly, Ark the Lad never saw an official Western release until 2002, when Working Designs localized the Ark the Lad collection for the PS1. It was also designed as more of a part 1 rather than a full experience. The developers knew they wanted the sequel right away, so Ark the Lad plays more like an introduction to Ark the Lad 2, which is a much bigger game. I've not played the sequel yet, but I definitely will. Before I started to play Ark the Lad, all I knew that this is a tactical RPG, and as I love tactical RPGs, I had decided to clear it from my backlog. The story has been started interesting enough. A young girl wants to break an old tradition by extinguishing a sacred flame on the top of a mountain, but as we seasoned RPG veterans would already know, this will cause some trouble by awakening an ancient demon. What was this girl thinking anyway? That flame was not there to make a barbecue or something on top of the mountain. But if she would not cause trouble, there would be no game, and there would be no video to make. Oh, I just love the butterfly effect. Alright, I'm going to do a spoiler-free story explanation here. In a world on the brink of turmoil, a young warrior named Ark lives in the peaceful town of Towil. His father, a respected figure, vanished years ago under mysterious circumstances, leaving Ark to grow up with unanswered questions. When strange forces threaten his homeland, Ark feels compelled to act, setting out a journey that quickly escalates beyond anything he imagined. Early on, Ark learns of an ancient prophecy foretelling a battle between light and darkness, one that could decide the fate of the world. As he travels, he encounters allies with their own burdens and reasons to fight. Among them is Kukuru, a priestess bound by duty to protect sacred ruins, and a handful of warriors, each lending their strength to the growing cause. However, Ark's journey is not just about battle. Along the way, he faces an expanding empire, seeking power through questionable means, shadowy figures who seem to know more than they let on, and a world that is slowly unraveling. Secrets from the past begin to surface, and Ark must determine what role he plays in the grand scheme of things. Though Ark the Lad tells a self-contained story, it is more of an introduction to a much larger tale, with many of its mysteries and conflicts serving as a setup for a sequel. The game lays the foundation for an epic struggle, with Ark and his companions taking their first steps toward uncovering the truth and deciding the fate of their world. I have to say that I found the story a bit generic. There were no big twists and turns or any jaw-dropping moments, but as I mentioned, this game is only just the beginning of an epic tale, and for that, the story is not bad, it is just a bit lightweighted for me. As I already mentioned, Ark the Lad is a tactical RPG, but a quite basic one in a few aspects. For example, there are no different elevations on the maps, so you cannot take advantage of this. Also, there is no turn indicator, you don't know who is going to act next, this makes things a bit more random. You cannot see the health of enemies or allies, only the active unit. However, there is a way to check the allies' health points. If you try to use a healing spell, it will show the health points of a unit. Also, you cannot place your units on the map, and before a battle, to use this as a strategy advantage. Despite all these, I enjoy the battles even with these basic possibilities. In a way, it makes things more streamlined and faster, but of course, this comes with a sacrifice. What I found unique in this game is that despite a lot of places that you can visit, there are no shops in the game where you can stock up on new items, and there is no in-game currency either. I know what you are thinking right now. So, how the hell you acquire new gear? Well, in battles, and by doing side quests, which I will talk about later. The items which you can gather throughout the battles are more than enough. The combined usage of healing or status spells with various items were sufficient for me, despite I was not side questing. Art the Lad is quite linear. You don't have a quest log, despite you can do small side quests if you visit different areas in the game and talk to NPCs. In this way, you can acquire special gear which would not be available if you stay on the main quest path. And does side questing is necessary? No, I found the items and gear completely fine, what I acquired on the main quest path enough to complete the game. And what about grinding? If you are familiar with my content, I'm not a fan of mindless grinding. Luckily, in Art the Lad you do not have to grind if you don't want to. At the early game I had to grind just a bit to gain some level, but after that it was not necessary at all. And this was a positive aspect for the game. If you are doing side quests, which involves extra battles, the level of your characters will be absolutely fine for the main quest path. I'm happy to report that the game is not difficult, which is a good thing. I play this game to have fun, not to be frustrated by difficulty spikes. As I mentioned, the leveling progress is good. Maybe you have to do a few battles more times, as some bosses are strong, or you were usually using a not really good strategy. Generally saying, I was blazing through the game, which is good, as I could focus on the story and just have fun while playing. What surprised me is that the game is quite short. If you don't do any side quests, you can finish in 8-9 hours without problems, but even if you would like to maximize your experience, you are looking at 10-11 hours tops. This could put off a few people, as some games they are just getting started at 8-10 hours, but this is already over by that time. But as this is an introductory story, it is fine, and also if you want to quickly just scratch your tactical RPG itch, this is a fine game for that. And now, let's see what I really enjoyed in Art the Lad. In a way, the very core and basic experience is good. Sometimes you don't want to play a game with very deep mechanics, you just want to play a quick run in an old school tactical RPG, and Art the Lad is perfect for that. The humor. I'm not saying that I was laughing hard while playing the game, but there were a few moments where the dialogue was genuinely fun. Despite how basic the game is, what works well. There are no bugs or annoying things in the game. The controls, the navigation in the menu, the item management is fine. However, the story is nothing spectacular, it is not boring, and it kept me interested until the very end. And also, there is always a clear suggestion where you should go next to advance the story. And this is important, as in those times when this game has been released, this was not common at all. Of course, there were bad things in the game which could improve the overall experience. First of all, the very limited strategy options in the battles could turn away a few people who are used to more deep tactical RPGs. This can be said for the available items and weapons in the game as well. There are no character customization options, you just level up, your stats are going up, but that's it. I have to say that none of these are major bad things or anything game breaking, but these can put off a few people playing the game. And now, I had to answer the main question of this video. Should you play Art the Lad? Well, it depends. If you're looking for a deep tactical RPG experience, this one might feel too basic for you. But if you're interested in a classic tactical RPG or want to play the entire series, it's a quick and easy introduction. It is not going to be all my time favorite tactical RPG, but I had fun playing with it, and I'm curious how the second game is going to improve the game experience. If you enjoyed what you see in this video, I encourage you to give Art the Lad a try, as who knows, maybe the series is an epic story which well worth jumping in. At this point, I don't know, but I will find out when I cleared the whole series from my backlog. And what about you? Have you played Art the Lad? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments. If retro gaming brings back great memories for you, why not subscribe and join our community of fans keeping the classics alive? Also, the YouTube algorithm shows us some videos for you. It is on the screen now, check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next Backlog Quest video.